Hi, everyone. If you're struggling with aging, from feeling sad about the wrinkles on your face to feeling agony over the loss or anticipated loss of a loved one, then my guest today has a message of hope for you about how you can not just cope with aging, but flourish throughout the process. Dr. Druck is the author of Courageous Aging, and since it came out in October, it's been on the Amazon bestsellers list. He's a frequent guest on CNN, and he's with us today, fresh back from speaking to the United Nations. Dr. Druck, when people cope with aging, they employ a lot of different strategies. Sometimes they completely deny it and say age is just a number and has no impact whatsoever. Other times they fight it with cosmetic surgery and procedures, all the while really berating themselves for the deterioration of their bodies and their looks. Why are those such natural responses to aging in our culture?
You know, we live, Lisa, in a world, as you're pointing out, in a world that encourages us to hide, deny, repress, avoid, run away from, numb out, and in anything we can do not to deal with the fact that life is a lease deal. It's not, an own to buy, it's a lease. And we get to be here for a while. We get older, our bodies change, our lives change, our work and lifestyle changes. And eventually we get to go to this place called the great beyond. We're part of a continuum and of life. And we get to be alive for a certain period of time. Now that's a very uncomfortable thing, but we live in a culture that rather than encouraging us to face into these issues and to summon the courage to deal with it, to understand these things and the strength and the deep wisdom, it encourages us to really run in the other direction. So it's not surprising that we have a $1 trillion anti-aging industry number in this country.
And what is the most advantageous way to hold or to look at aging?
I think with our eyes wide open to say, you know what, I have this blessing I've been given for reasons that are beyond my understanding. I've been given life, and here I am on this planet that sustains life, flying in the middle of a universe that is so huge and expansive. I'm in the middle of this great mystery called life, and I need to appreciate that I have this experience. I'm going through this. I get to be me. Now, we all know that there's another side to life, which is adversity. And adversity is also a part of life. We're going to be challenged. And in each new season and transition and change in life, we have to summon the courage and the strength to adapt, to face into what's going on, and to learn how to live in this new way, in this new season, or with these new changes.
Why do you think it's important to acknowledge the difficulties that do come with age and the very real losses that happen as our bodies deteriorate and as we lose people?
Yeah, well, it's uncomfortable. It's like we look in the mirror and we go, that's me, and we have to either greet the older version of ourselves, because it's a little uncomfortable. We say, my God, I'm advancing through time, and I don't get to be here through infinity. I get to be here for a time. So with all these changes, some part of us just doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to feel fear or dread. So we have a choice. We either face into these things, get the support and help we need, learn what we have to learn, summon and call up from within ourselves the strength to go on and to go forward, and to even see that there are going to be some new chapters in life to write, that there are new mysteries to live into. Or we can try to contract, get smaller, tighten up, protect ourselves, hide, allow our fear to paralyze us, live in dread and anxiety. And somewhere we have to make this decision. And the reason I wrote Courageous Aging is to encourage people to make the right decision, to see that the debt, if we avoid things, the debt comes due. if we face into things, the benefits are unlimited for having quality of life for every day that we're alive, whatever that might be.
What is the tool or the mechanism to change that attitude from one of sorrow and loss to opportunity and the best years ever imagined?
Yeah, well, I think everything good starts with a moment of taking a deep breath and reflecting and just stopping and thinking, unplugging from the stream of busyness in all of our lives and reflecting. That's why the book begins with a self-audit. A self-audit is just a way to like, oh, how do I feel about that? It gives us a structure and a way to kind of look almost like the way we'd look at a budget, a financial budget, to systematically identify what are the hot spots? What are the things that are making my heart sing that I should do more of in this new season of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Things that are my passions, my interests, my curiosities, things I want to inquire about, I want to learn more about, things that I want, where people I want to be with, places I want to go. And the other question in the self-audit, the heavy one, is what are the things that are weighing most heavily on my heart? What's got me scared and tied up in knots and confused? What don't I yet understand that I need to learn? So by doing a self-audit, the first step is reflecting and identifying where we are at this moment in time with regard to our age, how old we are, and how we're doing. Because once we've identified what the hot spots are, where we need to do our work, what we need to work on, talk about, read on, pick up a book and read about, or turn on. We just released the audiobook version of Courageous Aging. And, maybe some people don't want to read, so put it on in your car and listen to it a little bit at a time. So once we identify that, we can get to work. And what we can do, the work is to identify things that are standing in the way of our best possible future and begin to eliminate them, deal with them, address them. And the second step is to reimagine. We have this great capacity called our imagination. We can reimagine and in our mind take those thinking experimental steps into the future and see ourselves smiling, happy, loving, close relationships, healing wounds, just delighting in the best things of life. So that reimagining, we can set a new blueprint, because a lot of us have a blueprint of dread and fear and things getting miserable and only the hardships and challenges. Instead, let's form a goal and a path forward that really takes us into that best possible future. Once we do all this good personal work, we put our house in order here in our own hearts and our own mind and thoughts and in our own future and planning. Then the next step, we have two next steps. Number one is to put our house in order with our family, with our estate, with our finances, with our psychological estate planning. Because the goal should always be to leave a legacy of love. So we've got to get to work also putting our house in order. The last year I had an organizer working with me at my house so that my daughter isn't going to be left with chaos, file cabinets and mess. And what do I do with this stuff? I want to handle that. So the only thing my daughter has to do when I pass is heal and to begin to write new chapters in her own life. So I think that's important. And also, when we leave that legacy of love, it's not only to our children and grandchildren who are going to be sitting in the shade of a giving tree that we planted, but it's for future generations. It's paying the good in our lives forward out of gratitude for having had this life so that the future generations can live in a quality of life that would make us happy to think about.
Thank you, Dr. Druck.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for the good work you are doing. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on your program.
Oh, my pleasure. And we could only scratch the surface of this really profound, life-altering topic today. So all of the resources to support you watching are going to be in the description below. And I'm really excited about the audiobook and the book, which are available on Amazon. And then on kendruck.com, there is a courageous aging self-audit, which is a phenomenal way to reflect and to identify hotspots that are standing in the way of your brightest possible future. And it's just a wonderful tool. It's there free on the website. And then there's also a Courageous Aging personal journal. And then I'm also going to be linking to numerous blogs and articles that are all over the internet in the nation's leading publications that Dr. Druck has shared, so that you can really continue the conversation with yourself and dig deep and reimagine your best possible future. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Druck.